Could somebody please make it make sense?
Hey everybody, welcome to A Pop of Culture. I am your host, the Esoteric and Facetious, and this is Pop of Culture, where I speak on pop culture, social justice, and the human experience from a black, bisexual, linear perspective. Everything, and I mean everything I say, should be taken with a grain of salt, as I'm simply a recent college grad with access to a recording device and the internet. With that being said, my shouldn't be your sole reason to critique my views unless it's truly relevant. If you disagree with anything I say, have a civil conversation in the comment section below. With that being said, before we get into the topic of this video, I want to shout out my cover channel. I have a cover channel, Pop of Culture Sings, where I sing throwback R&B, contemporary R&B, pop music, whatever I'm feeling, whatever you're feeling. So if you want to be down like Brandy, if you're down with the click, and if you're not down with my 𝑭𝒐𝒏𝒕𝒂𝒄𝒕, then definitely feel free to check that channel out. With that being said, let's get into the topic of this video, which is Chloe versus Normani. So all of this started because of Cardi B tweeting at Lizzo and Normani, asking them if they had been booked to perform at the VMAs, which is coming up very soon. If you're not aware, Cardi B recently did a collaboration with Lizzo, Rumors, and she did a collaboration with Normani, 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒔𝒕, so it makes sense why she was asking them if they were going to perform at the VMAs. And Normani tweets at Cardi B that she has not been booked yet for the event, and this is kind of alarming because, as far as I know, last time I checked, the VMAs are happening on September 12th. So with it being late August, if Normani hasn't been booked yet, I would venture to say she probably isn't getting booked. So I kind of felt bad for Normani because, if you are not aware, 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒔𝒕 has been quickly falling off of the charts. It is not performing that well. So I felt like Normani was getting 2 L's within a very short amount of time because 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒔𝒕's not performing that well. It's dropping from the charts very quickly, and now Cardi B is asking you if you're performing at the VMAs, something you've already done, and you're not performing, you're not even booked. And it's not like she dropped the song 2 days ago. She dropped the song long enough where if the song was taking off and the song was like the hit of the summer, then she could have easily been booked. So I really felt bad for Normani because I'm like, she's taken L after L. But then I actually thought about it a little bit, and I'm like, Cardi B is not stupid. She is not. You know, we can say what we want about Cardi B, but I feel like there is a method to the madness, and I feel like she knows how to work social media. So I actually started thinking about it. I'm like, was this strategic? Was this a way where Cardi B and Normani were in cahoots with each other, where she already may have known, well, actually Normani hasn't been booked for this, but I'm going to ask her that publicly so that there can be backlash, and, you know, people can tweet about it and be upset about it, and, you know, bring so much attention that the VMAs are like, well, she actually does have an audience, you know, she really does have people who want to watch her, so that they would actually reach out to her and book her. And this kind of reminds me of the whole thing with Bruno Mars. And people have debated whether this was just a joke thing, because I believe it was the last Grammys, he tweeted out asking them to perform, and they said yes, but people are saying that he was already going to perform. So maybe Cardi and Normani were in cahoots with each other. So, of course, when people found out that she wasn't performing 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒔𝒕, a lot of people were very upset, and this started the hashtag #letnormaniperform. And I kind of wasn't feeling this. If you go to my Twitter, definitely follow me on Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, I tweeted out something saying, like, what is she going to perform? Like, is she just going to perform 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒔𝒕? Because I personally feel like if you're going to perform a set, you need to, like, if you're going to have a performance where you've got like 10 minutes on stage, 8 minutes on stage, you need more than one song. So for me, I'm all for Normani performing, but I'm just like, what all is she going to do? You know what I mean? Like, is she just going to do 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒔𝒕? Because she's not released music in a minute, so I don't think she really needs to do Motivation or Diamonds or anything like that. Like, if she gave me Legendary Choreography, then I would be like, okay, great. But I feel like with Normani, once a song's over a year old, unless it's just like that song, you need to, I'm not going to say retire it, but you need to come out with new stuff. So I'm like, does she have other stuff prepared? Does she have another single that she could premiere on the stage of the VMAs? I'm all for her performing. If she's going to perform, I don't want to hear Motivation. I don't want to hear Love Lies or Dancing with a Stranger. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe Waves. I just feel like Motivation had its moment. Diamonds kind of didn't really take off. So I'm just wondering what she's going to perform if she actually does perform. And I actually, like, I wasn't really feeling the hashtag because here's my thing. Sometimes I feel like those little like fan created campaigns can work, but sometimes they feel like begging. And for me, if I was an artist, I wouldn't want my fans to beg for me to perform. I'd want to be formally invited by the VMAs. And I think sometimes it's great for people to show, hey, Normani does have fans, Normani does have support, here we are. But at the same time, I feel like her fans, how do I put this? Her fans, I get the support and I get like pushing for her to perform. At the same time, I feel like it's starting to feel like they're trying to make fetch happen. They're trying to make this happen. And I feel like when it comes to artists and music, people have to attach to it. Enough people have to attach to a song and attach to a sound and attach to that person's brand for them to take off. And it doesn't matter how many tweets that group of stans make. You need to get the wider audience. And I feel like the fans are trying to do that through this hashtag #LetNormaniPerform. But the problem is, we need more than that. We need people who are like tangentially interested in Normani to want her to perform. We can't just have the stans tweeting and tweeting and tweeting. And I think that's the issue. Like, I think the stans aren't letting Normani be great. They're trying to force her getting a performance. I don't think the stans really need to do anything because they're active and they're doing what they need to do. I think Normani needs to come out with new content. With 𝑭𝒊𝒓 not performing as well, either maybe make a remix or come out with another single, because the fans, they're doing what they need to do. They're pushing her message out. They're being active. They're engaging. But at some point, the artist, it falls on them where they need to do the next step in their brand, because the stans have streamed 𝑭𝒊𝒓. They've bought 𝑭𝒊𝒓. They've done all they can do with 𝑭𝒊𝒓, because in my opinion, it didn't take off with wider audiences. It was something that people listened to. She has a lot of people interested in her, and a lot of people listened and gave it a chance. But I don't feel like a lot of people were like, this is my song and I'm going to put this on my playlist for every time I work out or every time I get in the car. So I feel like with Normani, her fans are doing what they need to do, but I feel like she needs to come out with another single that's even more hot, you know? So like I said, I'm glad the fans were active, but it's starting to turn into them trying to make fetch happen, which is very annoying, because it's just like, I'm one of those people where I do think sometimes there are people in the industry who manipulate things, or, you know, there's that nepotism, there's different things that go on that aren't necessarily fair. But at the same time, I do feel like if she dropped a legitimately good single that had enough mass appeal for everyone to get down with it, it would work. So I don't really buy into these blackballing things. And I feel like her fans, like I said, her fans are great. I think she needs to take what the fans are doing, and then she needs to go to the studio and make something even better. So now we introduce Chloe into the situation. So if you're not aware, Chloe Bailey of Chloe and Halle, she was invited to the VMAs. And this kind of made some of Normani's fans upset, because they're like, Chloe doesn't even have a song out yet. They're like, she's going on there to debut her new single that she's been promoting. She's been talking about it a lot. And people are like, that's not fair. Normani has literally already dropped the song. She's already been established as a solo artist. So why is it that Chloe Bailey, who hasn't even released any solo music, is being invited to the VMAs? And I wanted to get into that. I wanted to talk about that because I feel like this needs to be discussed. So Normani stands are right when they say that Chloe Bailey hasn't necessarily released solo music, and she is being invited there when she doesn't even have a song out. But here's where I think they're wrong. Even though Chloe Bailey doesn't have a song out, she has an engaged following and she is interacting with them on a regular basis. Normani, in my opinion, and I've been following Normani, I have been following her since Motivation. Well, honestly, probably Love Lies and Dancing with a Stranger, because even before that, I was following her when she was in Fifth Harmony, but with Love Lies and Dancing with a Stranger, I'm like, okay, she's really doing it. You know, she's cooking up some solo stuff. So I've been following Normani for a while, and she has not been engaging on social media for a while, whereas Chloe has been extremely active on social media. Let's not forget, Chloe hit 1 million followers not that long ago. Her and Halle made their own separate accounts because at first they only had their Chloe and Halle account, which was more for promoting things. It wasn't really a personal account. They created their own personal accounts, and she did her little dancing video. She had her, spicy little photos on there, and they performed very well. The Shade Room was always posting her. She was getting a lot of traffic. There were a lot of celebrities following her. She had 1 million followers not that long from creating the account, and I'm pretty sure she's at 3 million or more. She also had where she was consistently posting covers. She wasn't just posting like the dancing videos or the provocative photos. She was also posting covers that were being posted on the Shade Room that were being shared everywhere. Not only that, she was also doing her lives with Halle, because apparently they've been away because Halle was filming Little Mermaid. So the point I'm making is, even though Chloe hasn't released solo music, she has been releasing a lot of stuff on social media. She's been releasing covers. She's been releasing those dancing videos. She's been releasing these photos. She's been doing a lot to keep her name in people's mouth, to be at the front of attention, to be at the Shade Room, to be everywhere. And I feel like it's not necessarily fair to say, oh, well, Normani dropped a song. She actually has a song out. Because the problem with that is she has a song out, but that song didn't necessarily perform that well. And some people are going to be mad at me when I say this, but I also feel like, keeping it real, part of the reason why 𝑭𝒊𝒓 charted the way it did was because Cardi B was on it. And Cardi B, there's that whole stuff about her promoting it or not wanting to promote it. I'm not sure all the details on that, but let's keep it real. Normani is a talented singer, but a lot of her best performing singles are collaboration. Let's not also forget her long hiatus. And if you're not aware, I made a video about why 𝑭𝒊𝒓 was a success. It's currently in a copyright battle, so wish your best luck to me. But in that video, I talk about her hiatus, and I do mention that her hiatus might have been in part due to the fact that her cancer returned. So I do think that some of that personal time that she took away from music was so she could support her mother, support her family and things of that sort. In fact, her mother, she says in an interview that her mother actually pressured her to keep making the music, to keep making the art, because she believes that that's her gift. So I guess the thing I wanted to mention in this whole conversation of Chloe versus Normani is, I think that it's not necessarily fair for Normani stans to say, oh, well, Chloe doesn't even have a single out, because it doesn't necessarily matter whether she has a single out or not, because she's still been engaging with fans on social media. Normani, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, Normani, in my opinion, posts to social media like she's not a famous person. She posted I believe she posted her birthday party. She didn't even post when she was out at this industry event where there was a picture I was taken with her, Chloe, Doja Cat, I think it was also Ryan Destiny. There were a lot of those young poppin' Black female performers at the event, and she didn't even post it. It was posted elsewhere. Normani doesn't really post to social media what I believe an influencer and up and coming star should, where you're posting photo shoots, which she does sometimes post. But I mean, in comparison to Chloe, who is always posting stuff to her platforms, Normani is not that actively engaged, and it gives very much like somebody you knew from high school who posts when it's their birthday, when it's, their anniversary with their boyfriend or girlfriend, and doesn't post all the time because they don't need to. And in my opinion, Normani needs to post. If there's somebody like Rihanna has really proven herself. Beyonce's proven herself. So once you've proven yourself to be somebody who can deliver solid bodies of work, solid tours, solid live performances, as a solo artist, you don't really have to keep proving yourself, and you don't have to always be in people's eye. Beyonce can go away for 6 months to a year, and people will still be extremely excited whenever she comes out with something new, because they know time and time again she's delivered. But with Normani, she hasn't necessarily consistently delivered as a solo artist, and because of that, we're not really familiar with all that she can do. We know that she can sing, we know that she can dance, but at the same time, we're just not really sure, because Motivation was good, Love Lies was good, Dancing with a Stranger was good, Waves was good, but it also didn't chart that well. So it's kind of like, if you're wanting to be an A-list celebrity, if you're really wanting to be somebody who is booked at the VMAs, you have to figure out how to appeal to massive audiences. And I think that's why her social media presence being upped would be really good for her. You would never know that Ungodly Hour didn't chart that well, that it didn't stay on the charts that long, because Chloe and Halle were still in front of our eyes. They were still on network television. Halle was still working on that movie. So that's the thing. When you're always on social media and you're always engaging with your audience, it doesn't really matter if you take an L, because you're still in everybody's face and you're still giving us content. Because that's the thing. It's not necessarily just about charting or getting hits. It's about creating a connection with your audience. And because Chloe created a connection with her audience, people are vibing with her no matter what. So when the song comes out, they're going to check it out. But either way, she's still getting that engagement. And I feel like that's something that a lot of artists can take inspiration from. It's not just about, am I charting? Am I topping the Billboard 200? It all works together. When you're building a social media brand, it all works together. It's not just drop a song and promote it 2 to 4 weeks and then go about your business. I feel like the old school way of being a star is that very much, I come out with my music and then I go about my business. I'm coming out with a project, I'm going to book all the talk shows, I'm going to do all that, and I'm going to go about my business. And I think with this whole influencer thing that we have going on, and you know, the social media thing we have going on, you can't necessarily do that. You can't just, oh guys, I'm coming out an album a month, you know, see y'all soon. Some people can do that because that's the connection that they've had with their audience. But I feel like with people like Normani, who haven't necessarily established that connection with their audience or released bodies of work, you need to engage with your audience. And I think with Chloe, she's shown us how to do that perfectly, because even when she wasn't releasing music, even when she was doing dancing videos or photos, she was still getting people talking about her. And that's the thing, you have to be in the conversation. And that's the thing I'll say, like, you have to organically be in the conversation. I feel like with Normani's fans, sometimes it's them making fetch happen. Because it's kind of like that, there's that Mean Girls clip where Katie Heron says that either she was bringing Regina up or she was hoping people would bring Regina up. And I feel like that's where Normani's fans give me. Either they're talking about Normani or hoping that people bring her up so that they can talk about her. And the problem with that is you can tell when people aren't really talking about you. And I feel like with Normani, people would inquire about what she was doing, but they were thinking like, where is Normani? But it wasn't really the same thing as like with Chloe Bailey, because with Chloe Bailey, it's like she's always given us a moment every week and we've got something else to talk about. With Normani, it's like if you have a friend that moves away, you know, you're a little distant with them. You may think, how are they doing? But you may not necessarily always reach out to them. They're like in your mind, but they're not. Like with Chloe, I feel like when she does something, it permeates, it hits you. But with Normani, it's just kind of like she's an afterthought. I feel like with Chloe, it's incredible. It's incredible to see how she's built her social media brand, because that shows you don't have to, as an artist, always be releasing music for people to pay attention to you. Even with Rihanna became a billionaire, and her earnings are mainly not from music. It's mainly from things like Fenty Beauty. So I think the thing that I'm really realizing as I talk through this video is being a star, being a celebrity is not just about being somebody who is releasing music that performs well. You may be that person like Taylor Swift who, whenever you drop something, people are going to fall in love with it. They're going to adore it, and they're going to buy every color variant of the vinyl, every picture disc. They're going to buy everything. But now everyone gets to be Taylor Swift. And sometimes you have to work with what you've got. Let's say you've got like 500,000 followers on TikTok, you've got 100,000 followers on Instagram, and you've got a project coming in 6 months. You may want to start doing weekly Instagram lives. You might want to post at least 3 times a week, just so you're still in the conversation. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be music related. With Chloe, was smart because she did covers, but she did other things too, and I think that's smart. I think sometimes people like, and I'm not saying Normani does this, and there may be constraints with her team, but I feel like one of the things you have to realize if you want to be somebody who's relevant in 2021 is, I can't just rely on one platform. Some people can, and you might be one of those people. So you may be able to just drop a YouTube video and get views. Or you may be able to just drop a TikTok and get views. But the reality is, a lot of the people that we're talking about so much, a lot of people that we're really obsessed with, they're on multiple platforms. They're doing multiple things. Because that's the thing. If you're only doing YouTube videos, if somebody's not on YouTube, they're not really seeing your content. And like with Normani, if you're only doing music and the only time you're really popping out is when you're doing music, when you're not dropping a single, people aren't going to care as much. But with Chloe Bailey, because she's cultivated this audience, not only because of her musical talent, but her personality, she has people who care. That's the thing, like, that's how you build a brand. First, it was them doing the covers. Then it was them doing the performing with Beyonce. Then that helped them to get roles on shows like Grownish. that gave them a bigger audience. And then when they started coming out with music, they had even more of an audience. Sorry, something fell over there. But you get the point. The more you do and the more you create and the more you engage with your audience, the more opportunities you have. But if you continue to just sit there and rely on one thing like music or videos, if that doesn't work out for you, you may be out of luck. But if you say, okay, I'm a YouTuber who has like over 100,000 subscribers, and I'm going to start uploading on TikTok just so I can build an audience over there, or I'm going to start uploading more to Instagram, or I'm going to start popping off on Twitter more, you're creating relevance outside of one brand. And one of the things I wanted to bring up also is people are saying that Chloe doesn't have music out, but 𝘎𝑗 already released an album a year ago, and the album was well received. It didn't chart the best, but it was relatively well received. And not only that, but their album slowly after, like, I would say a few months after their album came out, they came out with a deluxe edition that had more tracks on it. And then even after that, they had vinyl come out. So they're still creating buzz over that release that happened over a year ago. And that's how you stay relevant. So I guess my point in this video is, while I do appreciate Normani and I hope, you know, she does get to perform at the VMAs, there are reasons, things that are within her control that she could have done to stay more relevant before 𝑭𝒊𝒓 and even after 𝑭𝒊𝒓. And I do see she's posting more, but I still don't necessarily know that it's enough for us to care about her outside of just, oh, you dropped a new single. And I feel like with Chloe, she's really learned how to work the social media thing, where if Chloe came out with the talk show, if she came out with a podcast, people are going to listen because we're slowly getting to know more about who she is. And it's not just, oh, Chloe dropped a single. Like, honestly, I don't think that Chloe would have been able to get booked for the VMAs unless she did all this work that she did on social media. And I think Normani could take a, what do they say, take a leaf out of her book. She could really look at what she's doing and apply some of that to herself so that she can really grow as a performer. But let me know y'all's thoughts. Let me know what you have to say. If you agree or disagree, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Love y'all. Bye-bye. And also, this is a new setup, so let me know if you think the lighting is good, if you think the sound is good, all that good stuff. Love y'all. Bye-bye. This video, if you like this video, if you made it to this point in the video, comment a thumbs up emoji below or still here if you are still here. Subscribe if you want to see more, and make sure to hit that bell so you're the first to know when I upload new content. I upload new content every week. And if you're enjoying yourself, and why wouldn't you be enjoying yourself, to the left, there's a playlist of all my video essay podcasts. I have 24 and counting. In the center is a button to subscribe if you just haven't had a chance to subscribe and you would like to. And to the right is a playlist of all of my covers and parodies. So if you are wanting to check those out, feel free to do so. And if you want to support me, if you want to support the show, first and foremost, a non-financial way you can support is just through sharing this video. I can make the thumbnails, I can, you know, make the titles, I can do the tags and do keyword research. One of the best ways that I can grow my brand is through y'all sharing this content with other people who like this type of content, because I nor you can control the algorithm, but I can control the quality of the content I make, and y'all can, if you enjoy the content, share with people who can like it, so that way, you know, if y'all are feeling it, it's getting put out there, whether, you know, the algorithm favors it or not. Somebody's gonna see it because you resonated with it and you resonated with me, and now you're sharing it with other people. So if that's a non-financial way you can support the channel, and if you do want to support this channel financially, my Cash App is linked in the description of this video. I'm trying to upgrade my production quality and keep growing and expanding and, you know, doing bigger and better. So if you want to help and support that vision, feel free to do so. All those who donate to the channel will be featured in the credits of all of my videos on both of my channels. Thanks so much for watching. Love you all. Bye-bye. See you next time.